Alrighty. Hope everybody's having a good day. Let's go ahead and get started with some Joltik hunting. Hope that we can find ourselves our mini mark Joltik today. Alrighty. Alright, let's hope that this outbreak ends up working out. It's a little bit awkward, but the good news at least is that none of the Joltik spawns are like super duper close to a charge stone. So the lighting shouldn't be an issue. It's mostly just we're not going to have quite as many Joltik encounters as a result. And it's a little bit more sporadic from what I have determined for this one. So it's not the most ideal, but it's at least passable. I don't really know. I guess I got super lucky with finding the outbreaks earlier on and getting pretty decent ones without it taking too long to search, but I just have not had the same luck as of late. It's been a bit more of a challenge to find a good outbreak these last few times. So yeah, I think I'm not really gonna be bothered to look behind me at all if I can help it. But the cloudy weather is definitely still a problem with the lighting, as it always is. It just makes it very hard to see Joltik. And I guess there is at least one that we can see right there that is kind of in the proximity of a charge stone, but a majority of the spawns are not going to be in the charge stone's way, so shouldn't be a problem for the most part. Okie dokie. Obviously wouldn't be an issue at all if the cloudy weathering still wasn't a problem. But I'm just gonna start acting on the assumption that the one that spawns by the charge stone is not shiny and just go with that if there happens to be one, because otherwise I'm gonna waste a lot of time. And since we're already kind of lower on encounters, it's just par for the course that wasting time to go check one by a charge stone to see if it's somehow possibly a shiny is just going to be that much fewer encounters. completely contradictory sentence there, wording wise, but you get what I mean. All right. There we go. The lighting's returning to normal. Now we actually have cave lighting instead of somehow weird sun lighting. Genuinely do not understand how that makes any sense still, but whatever. I feel like it's one of the few things in this game that are just entirely programmed incorrectly. Which is unfortunate because, I mean, there's a lot of, they're getting more and more complex with Pokemon games, so there's definitely a lot more stuff that has to go into it, a lot more programming, which leads to a lot more errors. And it is still insane, you know, with how big of a franchise it is, that and how large scale everything else is, that they still even have issues in the first place. I mean, even the Pocket TCG with the immersive card art for Ho-Oh and Lugia that just came out with the new set the day that it dropped. There's stuff that definitely gets overlooked. So, I mean, like, stuff like this cave lighting thing that happens for whatever reason with cloudy weather and like Flabebe's spawn in the overworld. There's a few little nitpicky things that are still kind of like actual programming errors, let alone any of the glitches or bugs or anything from the initial launch. I mean, yeah, obviously all of that stuff was there, but you come to today and there's still things that are clearly broken. They're just not as blatant, so they never got patched. They probably never will. I mean, they definitely won't. They just 100% never will. If they haven't gotten patched yet, then it's just not going to happen. A lot of people probably hardly notice or comment on any of those things, so it's just kind of is what it is. I mean, I can't imagine, especially with the special event, that there are a lot of too many people that have gone out of their way to try to fairy type isolate hunt Flabebe specifically. And I doubt there are people that really think, like, you know, sit in a cave long enough to be like, oh, the cloudy weather makes the lighting all weird. And then whenever it goes back to clear, then it's fine. I don't know, even by that token, it might even just be Charged Stone Cavern. Maybe it doesn't do that in other caves. This is the only one that I've noticed it in. Because frankly, I don't really do a lot of shiny hunting in caves. This is the only one that is been more frequent of an occurrence. Yeah, man, the spawns are just insanely all over the place. I can try to back up a little bit more, but the problem is that that little dip there. Hey, Ash, how's it going? Between the dip to see the Joltik and the Pokemon that spawned behind me, though, I don't really know if backing up helps too terribly much, but I'll give it a shot. Gonna start doing some reworking. Sounds good. Yeah, I was just kind of talking to myself, some of the stuff that's still kind of messed up in this game that people probably overlook for the most part, but there's always some things that need to be tweaked. Game design is not a joke. Requires a lot of time and effort. Do you get back from vacation? Going somewhere fun? Yeah, no, spawns are just gonna be all over the place with this outbreak, unfortunately. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. I would be surprised if they went with a same type of theme with like school or something along those lines where you're limited in the outfits for Gen 10. The ginger thing, yeah, I have no idea. I actually just don't know. I don't know why they don't put that in as a hair color option directly, but they have like red and purple and pink and stuff like that. That's a little bit more specialized. But yeah, as far as the uniforms go, I would imagine that first and foremost, I would like to imagine that with Gen 10, they're going to try to go all out with a lot of stuff. So I would imagine there would be a lot of top-notch everything. But for sure, I don't think they're gonna go for like a limited outfit stylization thing. I did not know that they invented the school uniforms, but that also makes sense then, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're kind of branching out, but again, that might just be a Legends thing too, where they're kind of making the concept of how you progress through the game different, a little bit more non-standard. That might just be a limited Legends exclusive thing between, you know, like the whatever they were called, the Guardian Pokemon, whatever the Warden Pokemon, or whatever from Legends Arceus, and then now like the battle ranking system that's going to be in ZA. Although it does still seem like they might have the concept of gyms, kind of, sort of, but since it's exclusively only in Lumio City, it's probably something different as well, to an extent. Yeah, that would be a cool concept for the Elite Four, doing like a theming their teams kind of around that ideology, for sure. Holy moly, that must have a lot of yeah, there's a good number of Pokemon behind me. There was not a lot of Joltiks at all. I feel like the electric type doesn't have a great consistency for a majority of type combinations, though, which is generally why it's not made into gym leaders or Elite Four too terribly often. Is just because it's, I mean, obviously standardly weak to ground type, and a lot of type combinations don't really assist with that, so. But it's also about the design aspect of how you know, make the electric type Pokemon to a degree. You can make an electric type, or any type for that matter, that's extremely busted stat-wise just because, so. It just hasn't happened to an like electric type specifically, other than, you know, a select few. Yeah, I get you. It definitely seems like that would be a logical line to take. No luck with Joltik, though. Wow, game. Yes, this is game. No luck so far, though. I mean, you've only barely started. It's only been 17 minutes. And this outbreak is really not all that great, to be completely honest. Yeah, I figured you need to get back to work. You just open your phone and see that I'm live. If you even have your volume turned on at all. Okay, bye. Have a good day at work. Dang. I feel like it's just routine for me to get off to a slow start with Joltik, though. Every stream. I don't know what it is. I feel like, as of late, hunting for Joltik has either been absolutely nothing, or one or two Joltik pretty quickly, and then the back end of each 30-minute window is also nothing. I don't really know what's going on. The bug just doesn't like me, I guess. Hopefully the other targets will A, be faster, B, be not as picky, confrontational, however we want to phrase it. More importantly, just faster in any aspect. Quicker at finding the outbreak, better at having more spawns, if not a bunch of other Pokemon. Just generally fewer encounters. All of the above would be nice. But we're already almost at about a third of odds over odds. I have had my glasses since I was 4 years old, so I definitely need them to see. That's a shiny Joltik, for sure. Way, way in the back here. Finally, we got something. Hello there, little lady. Go ahead and toss a quick ball at you. There we go. Yeah, I am trying to remember if that's the correct way to phrase it. Nearsighted, so I cannot see farsighted without my glasses. So I definitely need to have them on at any given moment. I can read things up close without them, but not very well. Like if I took my glasses off right now, I could not read anything on my monitor whatsoever. I probably would not be able to tell if any of that Joltik was shiny either if I didn't have them on. So definitely need to have them on all the time. Oh, I forgot to get situated back to my proper box. Oh, wrong thing. There we go. Yeah, I only take them off whenever I go to bed as well. I don't really know if it's a good idea to sleep with your glasses on. I feel like I move around way too much. I'd end up crushing them on my face or something. I don't know, maybe some people do it, but I am definitely not one of them. I am 25 years old. Quarter of a century. Gotcha. But yeah, I've had my glasses for a very, very long time. I pretty much do not have any memory or recollection of not having glasses on my face. I wish that I could have gone a little bit longer at least without them, but I mean, even then, early childhood still wouldn't have made much of a difference. My eyes are just extremely sensitive. Like, I don't even imagine I will ever... I mean, at this point, I don't really want to anyways, but I don't think I would be able to put contacts on if I wanted to, because my eyes are just so sensitive to getting anything near them because they've had my lenses to protect them my entire life, practically. I don't mind. I mean, there's probably questions about, like, super duper personal stuff that maybe I wouldn't want to share, but majority of anything I'm open to answering. Thank you for the follow. Trying to read. Let's see. Pokemon Master Ash K 1997. Is that still you, Ash? You just popped over to Twitch? Or is that just somebody else that just happens to have... I mean, I'm assuming it's Ash Ketchum. I just don't want to... the only questions that I typically don't answer is... Alright, yeah, I gotcha. Thank you for the follow on Twitch as well. I appreciate it. But yeah, the only questions that I don't really delve into is just, you know, stuff that I feel like is not good for a professional environment. Because at the end of the day, I do want it to, you know, try to do streaming, YouTube, whatnot, in a professional sense to a degree. You know, ideally, I don't have expectations for that, but it would be cool if I could do this as like a full-time thing to be monetized, make money off of streaming and making videos and whatnot. Yeah, I figured it was for Ash Ketchum. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into anything like politics, stuff like that. And I obviously don't want to dox myself, so I'm not going to talk about, like, specifically give information of where I live or any of my, like, personal information, any of that stuff. But I will freely share my opinions on things as long as I think that it's not something that's super duper controversial or whatever. Yeah, I'm currently looking for a new job, so for the time being, I'm working hard to try and work on editing some videos and streaming when I can. I've got a lot of video ideas, and I currently have a shiny hunt video that I need to edit that I have the hunt finished for. I have another video I'm working on. It was part of a series that I did some shorts for, so I just need to finish up editing that. And then I have another large-scale video project that I've had on the back burner for a bit that I need to work on editing. I'm hopefully going to have those three, and then hopefully, if I can, get this hunt done and get a video edited for this, all before Legends ZA comes out. That's my goal currently. It's possible. It requires a lot of hard work and dedication. And a good bit of luck as well. You put a lot of work into it for sure, but if you just don't have the luck of the draw of people clicking on your video or the algorithm skyrocketing it, then, you know, it is what it is. But I'll keep working at it. Even if I find another job, I'll still be doing it on the side, because realistically that's the primary thing. The primary reason I'm doing it is just kind of for fun and to document everything and meet new people and be a bigger personality in the community at large and whatnot. Just kind of document some of the stuff that I'm doing. You know, it's like I'm doing a whole bunch of shiny hunting and whatnot anyways, so if I'm going to be spending so much time shiny hunting, I might as well put something out there and maybe even just make a little bit of money off of it, even if it's not like career worthy amounts of money. Oh yes, I forgot to update my specific target counter as well earlier. Yeah, it's good to work at my own pace, but at the same token, it also makes it a little bit difficult to try and be more disciplined about doing it, especially when it's not like I haven't set it up for myself to just be my career, and I know that I am successful enough and I need to keep pushing myself to do it, if that makes sense. It's very easy for me to get distracted and say, oh, I'll go take a break and play a game for fun or something or whatever, but ooh, that one was close. I'm trying to get a little bit more motivated. I just went to the gym this morning for the first time with a buddy of mine. So I'm going to hope that getting up earlier, going to the gym, getting a little bit of a workout, doing something physical is going to help me to kind of get my energy up, help me be a little bit more awake and motivated to get to work and to do more, while also bettering myself physically and, you know, being a little bit more active and healthy at the same time. Definitely important if I'm going to be sitting at my desk for lengths on end as is. Okay, already got that one situated. Alright, honestly, that was some pretty good timing for an ad break, I'm not gonna lie. Just make the sandwich and then keep moving. Okie dokie. Let's see if we can get some better luck and maybe get 2 shiny Joltik this time around. I think I'll be a little bit quicker and stop looking behind me so much. So that will at least put me in a better position. The real kicker is going to be seeing how I feel tomorrow. Since I just got into working out again. My arms are probably going to feel even more tired tomorrow than they do right now. Tomorrow is going to be leg day. Which I actually don't struggle with too terribly much. I don't think it's as big of a deal for me, but I don't know. We'll have to see, since I haven't done it in quite a while. I guess it also depends on the workouts that we're going to be doing, because I think we're going to be planning to do weighted squats, which is definitely a lot more tiresome than most of the other leg workouts that I've done before. I don't think there's any Joltiks that are hiding from the little bit of hilly inclines. I think I can be positioned just barely to where I can see some of them. If they happen to spawn right around the curvature. Trying to remember, did I start at 83 or did I start at 84 encounters today? Because I don't remember if I did mark up the Joltik and I just forgot that I did. And then I marked it up twice. I don't know. If I remember, I'll go back and count all of them at some point. Just to verify. But if not, it's not a big deal. We'll only be off by 1. Do. Alrighty. Come on out, Joltik. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. That's 12, 42, 72. Unless I didn't. I don't remember. I had something. I don't know. I'm doing the math wrong again, for sure. Remember I did that last time. I have to just go through and count them individually. Do that later. I'll mess with it later. The number that it takes to get to it is not as important as finding it is, so I need to stop worrying about that and worry about getting as many encounters as I can. Shining? Or just the lighting? Yeah, it is just the lighting. I didn't think it was at first, but then it started to move further away and started to look more differently colored. Which I guess makes sense. It's getting closer to that charge stone down there. Okie dokie. Find the next little fella soon enough. I'm sure of it. Less. All right. Maybe I need to step back a little bit again, because it looks like I'm starting to push away the Joltik spawns, which is not good. It's not ideal. Oh, nothing there. Oy, oy, oy. Okay. Still no dice. Do. Joltik, where are you? There's quite a few Joltik there that time. Mostly what we had encounter-wise. But still no shiny, though. Okay, right here seems to be doing pretty good on the spawns. If we can just keep that running, then we'll be good to go. Alrighty. It's just the stupid cloudy lighting. Might have gone and messed it up. Yeah, I genuinely cannot tell with that one that's down there by the charge stone. It's just not possible. That might even just be a... No, that is a Joltik, but yeah, I don't think it's shiny. It's not. Nope. Either of those ones down there shiny. I'm not falling for it. It is still kind of silly, though, how the Chargestone Cave is where Joltik is, like, most known for being found, and its shiny is green, being a yellow Pokemon that is imbued with, like, the blue lighting of the cave to make it where it just so happens to be that combination, so the charge stones make it hard to see if they're too close to them. Alright, 13 minutes. Can we get a shiny? Like, actually, please, I'm asking. May I have a shiny Joltik with the mini mark? Please, game. Please, may I have a shiny Joltik with the mini mark? That was worth a shot. Maybe it'll give it to me, just not right this second. You're talking about me? You're saying I have a beautiful face? Guess I am not in the exact same position, because some of them are hiding behind the slants now. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. It's not a compliment that I necessarily get a whole heck of a lot outside of from my wife, but I appreciate it. Yeah, no worries. I don't take anything from it. I think it is totally fine for, people to, I mean, you know, to compliment other people on their looks. Doesn't necessarily have to mean anything with attraction. Okay. I do not have any children, no. Not currently. Someday, hopefully, but not now. Yeah, no, totally. I understand. I think that makes the most sense, but yeah, no, we do not have kids yet. Come on, Joltik. Give me something. Well, I guess it's not feeling like it still. Still got 6 minutes though. Checking a Pokemon browser game. Like one that's online that somebody made, or like an official one. Let's see. Might be going without on this one. Alright, I'll give it one more reset and then I might just start over with a new sandwich. I mean, 4 minutes. Not really a lot of time. I can get my ingredients back in hopes of finding more than one. Alright, let's go for it. We'll just start it over. Start fresh. Ah, I figured. Guess that's a good thing. I didn't save before making that sandwich anyways. Recapture our previous friend. And go in and move to the correct box again. And mark accordingly. Okay. Now, this time, save the game. Make a new sandwich. Alrighty. Alright. Let's get 1 second here for the ad break. Alright, that was my fault. I accidentally clicked stop streaming. It was a misclick whenever I was going to adjust stuff. So hopefully we're back. Sorry about that. Alright, let me just get something fixed up real quick. And then we'll get back to it. Alright, give me just 1 second to fix whatever the heck that was. Think I got it sorted out. Sorry about that. Should be good to go now. I think it's just something that was acting up with my mouse. I somehow went out afterwards. I was gonna go to click something else and somehow it ended up stop streaming. So got that sorted out. Mouse is fixed and readjusted. I think I had my DPI settings messed up or something because it flew over the screen. Anyways, hi. How are you doing today? If I'm pronouncing that correctly, Dollar Toot. Let me know if that is correct or if there is a different pronunciation that you would like me to use. And or if I'm just an idiot and don't know how to say things. Alright, awesome. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for stopping by the stream. I have not had the best luck so far from the previous hour. Only getting one shiny Joltik so far today, but it's kind of just how it's been going with me doing this hunt recently. Usually takes about an hour and then it starts to pick up a little bit more. So hopefully moving forward we can keep that trend going. I am trying to get the mini mark on my shiny Joltik. So odds are 1 in 64. I mean, the odds, technically speaking, are 1 in roughly 33,000. But based on that rate, the odds of getting the mini mark is 1 in 64 with a teensy power level 3. So essentially, you just take out the shiny odds. I should get 64 shinies, and then by then statistically I should have it. But as you can see, I'm at 85 Joltiks, so I am currently over odds. Yeah, some of the marks are different, so there's different rarities to them. The teensy and jumbo marks themselves are actually extremely rare. Unless you use the level 3 boosts. I don't remember exactly what the odds are, but I do know that they're kind of ridiculous. So finding a jumbo or teensy mark Pokemon raw with no boost whatsoever. Oh, ad break on Twitch. Hopefully that'll skip out, unless there's not even actually an ad playing. No, there is. Okay. We'll finish that thought after the ad break is over. I'm going to take this time while there's a Twitch ad running at least, because I know it's not synced up with YouTube necessarily, but I'm going to go fill up my water bottle real quick. All right, just in time. Sorry about that, because I had to restart the stream. It probably reset the ads, and I don't understand why starting a stream the ad break is like, hey, you're 5 minutes into your stream, here's an ad. Do I like the sandwiches Subway, like the restaurant? I guess it's okay. I don't eat it too terribly frequently, but from time to time, a good sub sandwich. I could go for one sometimes. So yeah, I'm not like a big foodie type person. So I mean, generally most food I'm okay with. But yeah, sorry about the well, no, I like food, but I mean, like, I'm not the type of person that's like, I don't have very strong opinions about food, I don't guess. Like, there are certain foods or places that I'll eat that I'm like, oh, I really like that place, but I'm not like super opinionated on like a lot of food that I dislike. Like, I'm always down to try something new. And generally most like standardized food I'll eat. Like, I'm not like a big, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, you know, like a ranking system. Like, I would probably tell you if I liked a restaurant, like burgers, for example, like McDonald's over Burger King or something like that, but it's not something that I generally think about explicitly rating. Comparatively to sub sandwiches and Subway, I don't really have a lot of other sub places that I would compare it to. If I want a sub sandwich, then I probably just go to Subway by default. No, no, that's drawing a line. No, that's not food. People just eat that stuff just straight up for whatever nutritional value, and that's no. I definitely have my preferences of food stuff that I'll eat. Like, I enjoy a good amount of different varieties of foods, but I definitely would want something with flavor, for sure. I wouldn't want something that's just bland nutrition and nothing else. But yeah, back to the mark conversation. The mini and jumbo marks explicitly are very, very unlikely to find. However, compared to the other, like, personality marks that you can get on a Pokemon, the level 3 boost of Teensy or Jumbo Power are much more effective than the Tidal Power. I don't exactly understand the math. You can probably look it up and see a more in-depth explanation as to how that exactly works, but it drops it down significantly to 1 in 64. Look at that, we got another shiny Joltik down here. This one has a mark on it. Additionally, from the looks of it, I wouldn't guess that this one is a good contender for our Teensy mark. Just compared to the one that was hopping behind it. Yep. Joltik, surprisingly, is not quite as difficult of a shiny to find. It's definitely easier for me to see on my screen as well. I mean, number one, for you guys, for sure. The screen is a little bit smaller because it's not full screened. With my overlay and everything. So that's one thing. But also, like, even from my point of view, like, when I go back to look at my recordings, it is harder to see even on recordings than it is on my live display. And my monitor's pretty sizable as well, so it definitely helps. But Joltik's coloring actually stands out pretty significantly. Better than I initially anticipated. But what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. So I have an outbreak going. So I'm opening and closing my picnic table because it essentially resets the spawns. Especially now with the Switch 2, it's a lot more effective than running around to despawn Pokemon. You waste a lot of time that way, and you're just about as likely to reset the amount of spawns either way. Generally, I would say, in my opinion, running around is better, but this outbreak, for outbreaks, generally, if you get a good one, you can position yourself to a spot where you kind of have to tinker with it a little bit, but you can find a spot that is a lot more likely to spawn the outbreak Pokemon more explicitly than other things in the area. Again, especially now with the Switch 2, there's almost no way you can find an outbreak that won't have at least 1 or 2 Pokemon spawning outside of the outbreak that aren't a part of it. Unless you find one that is in a really good position where you can like put your picnic table up against a wall and then isolate everything just because of the parameter that the outbreak encompasses, but that is much harder to do now with the Switch 2 spawns as well. But I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing. In general, you're getting more spawns regardless from the Switch 2 version. It's just more beneficial to do than running around back and forth, because Pokemon take even longer to despawn now than they did previously on the Switch 1. But yeah, so generally there's that, and then the only other like personality marks, you have the weather boosted ones that you can only find during weather, which offsets your percentage of finding a personality mark by a little bit. All of them are boosted by tidal power, of course. And then you have your uncommon mark, which is a 1 in 100 chance, and then you have your rare mark, which is a 1 in 1,000 chance. And then each of your individual personality marks are 1 in 2,800, but you can only get 1 personality mark at a time, I believe. I don't think it's possible for you to get 2 different personality marks. So essentially your odds out of the like 20 some odd marks that there are makes it where it's a lot more common for you to find a personality mark than the rare mark, thus making the rare mark overall the rarest. But yeah, that's the general immediate breakdown of how the marks work. And then there are a few other marks that you can find or like get added to your Pokemon by just doing other certain things, like in this game having your Pokemon with the Let's Go feature like pick up items on the ground, stuff like that. Oh, I accidentally pivoted myself. That probably doesn't make a difference, but speaking of, we can actually check and see what mark our last little friend had on it while we wait for this next batch to spawn in. Let's see. Upbeat mark. I don't think I have that one, actually. I think that's the first time I've gotten that personality mark on a Pokemon, so that's cool. Alright, look at that. That's an example of a personality mark. But yeah, so, I mean, the main thing that I'm doing with this hunt is just trying to find technically more rare shiny Pokemon by finding them with a specific mark. If I had a personality mark in real life, which one would it be? That's a good question. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up the personality marks here on my second monitor to see what all the options are. Because to be completely honest, I don't remember all of them by name. Let's see. I would like to think that I would have the kindly mark. I think I'm a rather kind-hearted person. But I don't know. I'm curious to see what my family or friends would think of that. But yeah, I've done this hunt a little bit before. Not for the mini mark specifically, but this is kind of a second part to a previous hunt that I did, which did involve my previous target on the screen, Alolan Exeggutor. It's an overall shiny hunt that I'm doing for the 6 canonically smallest Pokemon with the mini mark, because they actually come in the smallest size. And then the previous one that I did was the 6 canonically largest Pokemon with the Jumbo or Alpha mark from Legends Arceus, just because a couple of them are not available in Scarlet and Violet. But I did that, and that was probably the most insane shiny hunt that I might ever do, honestly. Just based off of the crazy amount of wacky things that happened during that entire hunt. But I made it into an entire YouTube video to get some of the highlights. So that's on my YouTube channel if you want to see all of that craziness that happened for that hunt. But yeah, it took me 243 Exeggutors to find the Jumbo Mark Exeggutor, which was the longest of the bunch. Keeping in mind that it's 1 in 64 odds for finding the mark. So I was significantly over. I was very hopeful that these 6 will not be as detrimental. I have been playing Pokemon for... let's see. About 20 to 21 years. Yep, I am, I would not have been into it if my older brother didn't get the train started. My first game that I played was, I guess technically, Pokemon Yellow version for the Game Boy Color. It was not my game, it was technically my older brother's, but I did play it a little bit. I was too young at the time to like actually legitimately like play the game, but I did play it a little bit. So the first game that I actually owned and played regularly would have been Sapphire for the Game Boy Advanced. Oh, it has been quite some time. It is a good one. My favorite games of the franchise overall are Black and White and Black and White 2. I'm a big Gen 5 fan. First one you played was Red, the first one you owned was Crystal. Nice. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess maybe it might have just been the different things that my brother was playing at the time or something along those lines, but we didn't actually have Crystal or Gold or Silver. My best friend had Crystal, so I played Crystal whenever I would visit him from time to time. But they also lived like an hour away from us, so we didn't get to see each other too terribly often. Yeah, I don't know why. We didn't even have red or blue either. We had... My brother literally just had yellow. Oh yeah, you can do !Poke Start. It'll give you your starter Pokemon, and then you can start doing Poke Catch. But yeah, my first game was Sapphire. The game that I probably played the longest before getting to the point where I like did shiny hunting as a hobby somehow was Pearl. I have no idea how. I put hundreds of hours into that game and I genuinely don't know what the heck I would have been doing at the time, given the fact that there wasn't necessarily like a significant post game like there was with Platinum, and I didn't play competitively and I didn't shiny hunt, so I genuinely have no idea what I did as a kid, but I played Pokemon a lot somehow. I think I just worked on leveling a bunch of Pokemon to level 100 or something at the time. That was probably all that I did. That was before I even knew what shiny Pokemon were. My first shiny Pokemon, I still didn't know what shiny Pokemon were at the time, but I did catch a shiny Skorupi in the Great Marsh in Platinum. I still have it to this day. It is now a Drapion that is... You can definitely tell is from my childhood on the DS because its name, and that I didn't know what shiny Pokemon were, because its name is Red Skorupi in all caps because of the way that they had the keyboard on the DS. I never swapped to the lowercase keyboard. I just typed everything out on the all caps one. And I didn't use it in my... I think I had already beaten the game at that point. So again, I don't know what the heck I was doing in the Great Marsh either. It wasn't like... Because I didn't use it in my playthrough. It's still only like level 45 or something. I just knew that it wasn't supposed to be red and that that was different and that it was cool, so I caught it. Which is also crazy because, again, being in the Safari Zone, there was a chance that I could have failed catching it, so I got super lucky. I have the faintest memory of running into the first shiny Pokemon. You thought your game was... Oh, yeah. It's like the meme of the... Guys, my Latias is sick. What do I do? Just KO it and encounter it again, and it'll feel better. I'm getting a bunch of ads in the stream. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how the YouTube ads run exactly. I tried to see if I could do something for multi-streaming to get them set up where Twitch and YouTube play at the same time, but the way that I mean, I still don't even know for certain how the YouTube ads run. But they don't have that where they sync up. I think Twitch makes it where the shortest ads I can run are 1.5 minutes, and YouTube's the shortest are 1 minute, or it's 2 minutes. And then it also, depending on where it puts it in the stream, is like out of whack. So I have no idea. Yeah, I think you're awesome. I think everybody's awesome as long as they're not mean-spirited towards other people. That's pretty much the only thing that I really care about in my book. I just want people to get along. And thank you for saying that I'm awesome as well. We got 4.5 more minutes. See if we can find a second shiny Joltik if we're lucky. Again, I'm not certain that that Joltik had the chance of being the mini marked one. Just based on the one that was close by, but I could also very much be wrong. I've been wrong before, and again, it is like actually impossible to tell. I think even more so with the smaller Pokemon than the larger ones. But even with the larger ones, it really was not that easy to tell either. For some of them. What the maximum height, or at this case, minimum height is. No idea. There's a shiny Joltik. Second one. Trying to hide in that other one. But I see ya. Alright. Managed to get a second one. We are starting to ramp up just a little bit. Hopefully. Don't know what to think about that one, but I don't know. At this point, I've tried to tell myself to not make a judgment call immediately. Because the very first one that I got was my jumbo marked Dondozo, and I remember that stream I was just like exhausted after work and not really feeling great, and I was having a rough time. I think I had failed a shiny Dondozo as well. It had despawned, and I was just kind of not having it. And I was like, man, that Dondozo wasn't even close. And then I went to check with the NPC, and it had the jumbo mark. So I have sworn off from trying to be too judgmental about it. Although I did end up being correct with my Feebas and Exeggutor, though. So I did end up getting those ones correct on which one I thought was the jumbo mark. Granted, it was after I had already been like, I think this one might be it about 20 or 30 times, but it was one of those like different, I don't know. I know it sounds like I'm making that up, but I'm sure people can relate to the idea of, you know, like you just get that thought in your head that's like, this one is different. I don't know why, but this one's different. This is very true. A broken clock is right twice a day. But yeah, no, I do, especially with the Feebas, I distinctively remember being like, okay, this one actually does look like way larger than the other ones. The Alolan Exeggutor was a little bit still like me coping because it was the last one that I had done for the day. Like, I was literally like, I should probably go get to bed, but then my wife was like, I'm gonna go take a shower, and I was like, okay, if you're gonna take a shower, you think I can run one more sandwich? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, all right. I ran one more. Boom. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I think I got 2 in that sandwich, though. I think I got 2 Alolan Exegutors in that sandwich, if I remember. But it was the actual last encounter that ended up having the jumbo mark, so that was insane. And it was what I needed to finish the hunt. Huge amount of relief. Yes, she's very supportive. She actually is the one that does a lot of stuff to help me behind the scenes. She made the overlay for the stream. She made all of my Twitch emotes. She's made my YouTube thumbnails that are artwork, not photoshopped, obviously. She is very supportive. She's not a Pokemon fan necessarily herself, but I mean, a major one. She likes a few of them. So she's a big fan of Fido and Snorlax and Raichu and a few others, but she's not very knowledgeable or anything about Pokemon. She hasn't really played any of the games or anything along those lines. Okay, so we got 2 to look at. Yeah, so like I said, that one was not really on the chopping block, and that one wasn't either. Alrighty. I figured as much. That last one didn't have a mark, right? No, it did not. But yeah, she's very supportive, very hopeful that the channel will kind of pick up a little bit more. She would love nothing more than for me to be able to do this as a full-time job. As of right now, I have them in my Pokemon home for all the other ones currently. If I have any with like special marks, I try to keep a hold of those. Like I have my... Well, actually, I put them in home as well. I have a rare marked Feebas and Exeggutor that I got as well that I definitely am keeping. Oh, of course. Ad break. Perfect timing, as always. Oh, sorry. Still muted. These ad breaks are perfectly timed for interrupting discussions. Well, we were married before I really started doing any of the content stuff, but yeah, I completely understand. I mean, yeah, if it was something that I was legitimately doing full time, yeah, it would kind of be strange. But I mean, moreover, just the overall appreciation of the fandom, for sure. But yeah, all the rejects for right now, I'm just kind of, I have sitting. I wanted to try and do a giveaway for some of them at some point in the future. I live in the US. Oh, you've been trying to... I mean, you could take a guess, but I don't... I've moved, so I don't really know exactly... I mean, if I have an accent, maybe. I don't know. I don't think that I have an accent, but I guess it's possible. No. I am not from Michigan. My previous job had a good number of people that were from Michigan, though, so I guess it's possible that that rubbed off a little bit, maybe. Nope, not from Idaho. That is closer, though. Did I say Idaho or Ohio? Ohio, whatever. Same thing. Not from either of those states, if that makes a difference. No. I am not from a northern part of the country. I'm in the central region, I'll tell you that much. I'm just a ginger and I don't go outside very frequently. I couldn't really tan if I wanted to. That's why I'm saying I don't really think I have an accent, because I originally lived in Illinois, I'll tell you that. And then I moved when I was 13. So the area that I live in, if you wanted to guess, had the types of accents people would have would definitely be a lot more southern that I do not have. But to be fair, I don't really think necessarily everybody in southern states all have accents either. Yeah, I think it mainly just depends on like the actual region that you're from, because like, yeah, I would imagine that people from, even for Illinois specifically, would sound differently if they lived in Chicago versus just about anywhere else in the state. And the same thing, like, you know, the really southern states like Texas or whatever, there's plenty of people that live in Texas that don't have like the full-blown yeehaw cowboy accent. But there are some of them. They do exist. I have met people that have that accent for sure, but there's plenty of other people that I'm friends with. And I don't live in Texas. That's not me telling you that it's Texas, by the way. There's just a lot of people that I know that are from Texas. Yeah, it's accents are a very interesting thing, honestly. 'Cause, I mean, like, they do have, like, specific regions that they're mostly locked to, but I feel like especially nowadays, people just move so frequently as well that it kind of it's kind of made the country even more of a mixing pot than it was in, you know, the last few decades. Bingo. There you go. Ah, I see. Classic. The classic line. But yeah, especially here, there are so many people that are moving to this area all the time. I think it's like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's changed since the last time I heard it, but I'm pretty sure it's one of, if not the most, like, high population growth states of the 50. Like, there's so many people moving here on the regular, it's crazy. It's certainly not doing the housing market any favors, I can tell you that much. Yeah, I think it's the same. I mean, it's not probably not quite as heavy as Texas, but it's one of the states that people would generally assume would have like the super southern drawl, which again, they exist. There are people here that have them, but just not a lot. They're not as many as you would be subject to thinking of. But that also, I think, boils down to, again, that there's just so many people moving here. They're like, oh, yeah, I came from Michigan. I moved from California. It's the same thing even with like names. My wife told me that somebody at her job asked her about her last name and was like, but didn't like ask explicitly. He just asked like, where are you from? She was like, where are you from originally? And she's like, oh, I moved from Texas. And then besides, I'm married. That's my husband's last name. And then he's like, oh, well, where's he from? And then she goes, well, he moved from Illinois. It's like, okay, that's clearly not what he's asking, but she was also just kind of like messing with him because it's like, yeah, man, ask the question. If you're trying to ask like the like heritage of where the last name comes from because it's an interesting last name, just ask that. Just because we have the name doesn't mean that like it's from Lithuania, in case you're curious, but like ask the question, where's the name originate from? Like, yeah, dude, we didn't move here directly from Lithuania or some other European country over there directly. Then we would probably have an accent. You'd probably hear it a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know the specifics, just ask the specific question. Don't make it such a vague blanket statement. It's weird. I can understand, like, again, I think I have this type of conversation with my wife from time to time too. Like, generally, a lot of people do or say things that come off as rude or offensive that, generally speaking, I would be inclined to believe they don't intend to do that. They're just not thinking about it clearly. And I mean, you can easily come to the understanding of that, because there are more than likely instances you can recall where somebody else got offended by something you said or did that you did not do intentionally either. So it happens. But it is one of those things where it's just like, you take that experience and you make it a learning experience to move forward. But again, there are still plenty of people that don't think about that at all, and might even just be completely ignorant to the fact that they irritated somebody the first time that they did it. And I guess occasionally there are people that do it intentionally, but like generally I would say that it is people that are asking that in the phrasing of, you know, oh, I would like to know more about you. Where, like, you know, where'd you come from? Where's your accent from? Where's your name from? Like, whatever is more of an interesting thing, but it does come across as like, yeah, you're weird, dude. Where are you from? What's up with you? Which I also find interesting. I mean, again, I think it's just because there are so many people that inhabit the earth at the same time now, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's something that we could at least attempt to incorporate in our education systems, is like just how to talk to people. I don't feel like it's like one of the most critical things ever, and it's just not like, it's something that society expects us to learn inherently, like just through going through the motions. It's like I feel like there is a science to it that can be broken down and taught at some point in your life, when you've cognitively developed enough to like hold a conversation in full. No, I'm not going into that branch of things. Definitely not. I don't think it needs to be like, yeah, I know that you're kidding. It is also sad that there would be people that would just take stuff like that out of context. Not like I'm a big streamer or anything that anybody would care about what I have to say, but generally I just mean like, it's not something that needs to be taught like engraved into their brains, like you have to talk to. It's more like just how to be social, how to communicate with people in a way that is emotionally intelligent, not like dictating speech. That's taking it too far. Because I had in my business administration that I minored in, one of my classes, we read a book that was about emotional intelligence. I took a Dale Carnegie course, so it's a lot of general business acumen, how to communicate with people, you know, the like. But it should be more than just for the sense of business. It should be in your personal and your professional life. Just knowing how to communicate with people effectively and care about their feelings and think about how it would be, you know, read from their perspective. Which again is not foolproof. It's not like it's 100% accurate, but oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's, and again, I mean, there's also the argument of, you know, parenting and whatnot. Like, which unfortunately does parallel as well. Generally speaking, if the, you know, if you have a person that's a parent that's not really a upright citizen, their children are more than likely going to inherit at least some aspect of that too, for lack of more eloquent phrasing of that. But it's just kind of the way that it plays out. A great deal of teaching children when they're growing does need to come from parents, but if we're going to have all this stuff going into the public education sector, I feel like it should be more inclined to things that are actually beneficial for real life, not putting so much in, like, I don't know. Education's a difficult and touchy subject. It's definitely way more complicated than any person like me sitting in front of a computer screen on the internet talking is going to solve, for sure. But I feel like at a certain point in time you can get to a level where you're like, okay, clearly science or math or whatever, or like history, is just not like for this kid. History is important. English, reading and writing is obviously important. General mathematics for, you know, like growing into, you know, like growing up, becoming an adult, you know, paying your taxes, managing your finances, all that, yada, yada, yada. That stuff's important. But at a certain point in time, it's like, okay, I don't need to be taking calculus or extensive algebra or whatever. Can you teach me something that's like more beneficial? Can we have classes that are required that actually make me like a member of society? Yeah, 100%. And it always comes with different social standards as well. Like, there's the argument from a different standpoint of like, again, I don't know the validity of a lot of this stuff, but like I've heard that America's education system is one of, if not the worst. But American society and social norms are also flooded with a vast number of different freedoms and ideologies and everything else that comes with, you know, what America stands for, that kind of seems to complicate that. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have, you know, like your generally to be expected higher education systems of like Asian countries like Japan, for example. But the fall off is they use a lot of that education, and then generally speaking, most people are kind of almost hard pressed into having the same career path for their entire life. It's extremely hard for them to veer off into some other career unless they generally have something really good going for them in that sense. And then some of that stuff, like we just recently went to Japan, and it was honestly kind of sad almost, but like we walked by a couple of construction workers in, you know, their hard hats and their vests and everything, and like a group of them walk by, and then we keep walking, and a little bit down, you know, we walk another like a couple 100 feet or so, and then there's another construction worker walking by, but he's this old man that's walking by with his back like literally completely hunched over, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's still working? Like, he should be retired, but his job probably doesn't make a whole lot of money necessarily, and he's still doing what he can to get by and contribute to society and so on and so forth. But it's the difference of how things work. Yeah, it's just complicated. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but at the end of the day, I think, you know, you just do whatever you can that works for you, and we hope that we can come to a consensus and that people will at least try to be a little bit more cooperative with certain things. But even just sharing the mindset with even one other individual is better than keeping it to yourself. Believe that is another shiny Joltik. Yes, it is. This one is fairly small looking, I would say. Just maybe. Get my counter back up. There we go. There it is. It's hiding from me. Whoops, that's the wrong button. So is that... Hold on. There we go. 11 minutes left. That one was decent. Again, it's kind of hard to... Because, I mean, like, really, especially, like, with the different viewpoint, especially for these small guys, like, you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, that thing's tiny. And then you zoom in and you're like, oh, it's... You know, maybe it's a little bit bigger. Who knows? It's kind of hard to tell. I don't have, like, a specific, gut feeling about this one. But again, it's not entirely foolproof, because I definitely was... I was completely off with the Dondozo. The one that I got with the Dondozo, I was like, ah, no, that one's not even close. Yeah, Joltik's curious. It's a curious little Pokemon, so if you get its attention, they'll follow you. Usually with these outbreaks, they spawn at a pretty significant distance, though, so they only follow me whenever I run to go check on one. Which I think is fun. I think it's fun that they can program different Pokemon to have different behaviors. Some of them are even programmed to be different, which is also cool. Depending on the circumstances. There was somebody a while back in one of my streams that pointed out to me that, and I had experienced it, but I had just never thought about it. But Combee, for example, usually when you find in the wild are timid and get scared, and they'll run away from you if you get too close. But if you encounter a group of Combee with a Vespiquen present, the Combee will become aggressive and will initiate battle with you by running into you. Which is pretty cool. There's even a few Pokemon that, like, will get into fights with each other if you don't get too close and just observe from a distance, like Seviper and Zangoose, for example. If you get two of them to spawn on screen at the same time and they're close enough to each other, they'll, like, walk up to each other and do their attack animations. Maybe 1 or 2 times. And then, whichever one ends up being determined the victor, which is actually just completely random, will, like, do its cry, and then the other one will turn around and run away. So it's pretty unique. It's pretty cool that they do that stuff, although at the same time, I mean, it's stuff like that, though, that's like, okay, this is really cool, and it makes me a little less critical about some of the issues that the game has had. Because even at the start of this stream, I was talking about how it's very weird. It is an issue that comes up with this shiny hunt in particular. And I haven't paid enough attention because I'm sitting in this cave because it's the only spot that Joltik spawns. And I haven't done too terribly much shiny hunting in any other caves. But for whatever reason, and maybe I can point it out if it happens again, but when the weather changes to being cloudy, specifically cloudy, the lighting inside of the cave gets, like, super weird. And it almost makes it react like it was actually cloudy weather, like as if I was outside. Like there's sunlight somehow, which makes no sense. Which I would chalk up to some weird programming error. And then in the same way, like, Flabebe specifically has its spawn, like it shows that it's supposed to spawn on certain areas of the map, but it's like almost impossible to find. It will occasionally spawn in a group, but even if you put on like a fairy type encounter power sandwich and you go to that area, you just won't see any Flabebe. So somehow they like glitched the spawn for it and it just doesn't really work at all. But those things are so minor and people probably don't even notice most of them. And even if they did, it's not like a big enough deal with enough people complaining about it to where it's been patched. And since it hasn't been patched now, it probably never will. Because Legends EA is right around the corner, so they got more important things to do than fix up this game any further. But I mean, again, what I was basically boiling that down to is they have so many different crazy unique things that they programmed in. It's kind of expected that some things were overlooked here and there. Five more minutes. Did I miss one? No, we just got the one, right? That's the only one that we had for this sandwich. We're having too good of a conversation. I like completely lost track of if I had caught any more other than that last one. Oh, and of course, I do that every time. Open the box for something and then forget that I'm on the box and not the picnic. I feel like that one might actually be shiny and not too close, but no, it is. It's just too close to the charge stone. That happens more frequently with other outbreaks. Yep, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Probably hitting an ad break here in just a second as well, if I had to guess. Oh, yep. There it is. It's incoming. I appreciate you hanging out. Hopefully I'll see you again some other time in the future. Understandable. Yeah, there we go. Ad break time. Three more minutes. Do. Down to the wire. Oh, I think I just reset over a shiny. Oh, no. Started trying to go too fast. They weren't even done spawning in. Pretty sure that was a shiny Joltik. Well. Let's just hope that it was a chestbin, because I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye. And it looked kind of big, so it might have actually just been a chestbin. I have made that mistake before. Alright, well that's it there. I'm gonna take a little look-see. Let's see if I done goofed. Trying to find it. It's hard to pinpoint this. I get for having my clip setting being on 5 minutes. No, I think I definitely reset over a shiny. Very hard to tell. Again, footage does not make the best outlet for determining that. But I definitely don't think it was a chest bin. It was either, and I can't remember exactly now, it was either a Magnemite off to the side, or it was a Joltik that was directly in front, because it looked like it was shiny. But it's hard to tell. Alright, let's see. Yeah, good size, smaller than average. So that one was not it either. Alright, let me do the math here again. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which means that's 12, which means this is 42. So we just chalk it up to 40, which means that is 70, which means that is 76. Means that is 82, which means that is 88. Okay, so I do have my count correct. I'm not counting the Magneton or the Drill Burr. That is what we're going for. Okie dokie. Granted, the Joltik, if it was pretty close, but it looked fairly large. So I'm going to cope and say that if it was a shiny that I failed, it was not going to be the mini-marked one anyways. There we go. Go back and delete this clip now anyways. I no longer have need of it. Ooh. Okay. It's been a bit of a slow roll today, I'm not gonna lie. I did mess myself up a little bit, so my timing is off by a smidge, but I mean, it's been about 2.5 hours with 4 shinies, so we're a little bit under consistency on shiny output. We did have practically one full sandwich, 25 minutes, because I cut it off a little bit early with nothing. So we are a little bit behind. Might try to see if I can do a little bit more hunting, maybe off stream as well sometime tonight if I have more time after I work on editing some videos and whatnot. More than likely, because I don't think I'm going to be going the entire duration of stream for today. Probably I'm going to be cutting them off early until I can get more of these videos done. Going to be quite a good chunk of editing to work on with the amount of time that I have available to me before Legends EA will be out, because it will be sooner than we know it. Only a couple more months now. Goodness, man, I cannot see that one at all. And it just continues to jump towards the charge stone. All the way up onto the thing, you little rascal. I can't see a dang thing when you get that close. Just spawned in and immediately took off. It's like, oh, I'm going straight to the stone, man. Excuse me. See, this is just... It's ridiculous, man. Legitimately made it look like that one was shiny. Ah, cloudy weather. Cloud lighting. So obnoxious. Yeah, this is probably gonna be the last sandwich for today. At least on stream. just not even gonna humor the idea. If it's a shiny, then I guess I'm missing out. I don't know. It's ridiculous, man. The cloudy lighting is ridiculous. How am I even getting them to start spawning all the way down by the charge stone anyways? It's crazy. It's about max range at this point. And they're still doing it from time to time. There we go. Back to normal lighting. We could please stay this way for the remainder of the sandwich. That would be greatly appreciated. Get a little closer to the charge stone here. Help me with that corner a little bit better. Like it if we could get 2 in this sandwich to end at 90 though. At least, please. If not, to just immediately the mini mark shiny, that would be great. Would obviously be the best outcome. I'm just real hopeful that this guy does not take double odds, or any of them in this hunt. That would be ideal. I know that it's going to take some time and effort, but I just don't want any of them to go double odds. That is not ideal. I'm hoping that that's not the case. I'm hoping that at least one of them will be really early. Clearly that's not going to be Joltik. I really want it to be Cutie Fly, if anything. Which has not even been started. And I think I'm going to need to get out of the way. I don't know if it'll be the next one. I don't think it will be, but I don't think I want to leave it for last, but I don't know at this point. I can go for Sinistea, Poltergeist. Or Flabebe. I'll probably do Flabebe last, I guess. We'll have to see how that one's gonna go. I don't think it'll be the worst, though. I don't think it will be. It'll be interesting to see which color of flower the Mini Mark Flabebe ends up being as well. So I'll probably just get a diversified portfolio of each of them during the attempts. Come on, Joltik. Help me out, my buddy. Ooh, and Joltik took off around the corner as well. Little rascals. And the cloudy weather's back. Hoorah! Absolutely. Oh, that's a chestman, right? It's just a chestman. The cloudy weather is making it almost impossible for me to even see the chestman's body. So it looks like a Joltik almost. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Well, unless something crazy happens, we might not be making it to 90 regardless. Who knows? I might not even be making it to 89. Not even gonna move further because that's just the lighting again. Just the lighting doing a little trickery on me. Do. Oh boy, an ad break. Just gonna run through it. We don't have anybody over on Twitch right now. At least not that I'm aware of. I'll just swap it back over. Swap it back over manually. The lighting is like actually insane how I can go from like clearly just pinpointing there's a Joltik there to just being like, is that even a Joltik over there that's moving? I don't know. I can't tell what that is. Maybe it's nothing. The cloudy to non-cloudy is literally almost night and day. Oh, I clicked the wrong overlay. Whoops. They're seen. Just a little bit silly. I just don't get what the inconsistency is, man. I don't know why it feels so slow. Like, I don't get a lot of shiny Joltik. It's weird. I mean, I do still chalk it up to the idea of running around and getting other spawns, though. I do think the act of moving around just makes the hunt more engaging. It's just actively not quite as effective. At least not for Joltik. I don't know. For the other ones, I'll have to see what works for some of them. Poltergeist, I know, is also just picnic resetting. It has far too limited of an area of a spawn for me to do walking around, because I'm just going to end up filling the spawns with too many things in the surrounding area. So that one 100% has to be picnic resets, no questions asked. This one, maybe I could get away with walking around somewhat, but I don't know. I mean, it also varies. This Joltik is very different in where the outbreak ends up being positioned. I don't know. I'll give it a shot for this last little bit here. Who knows? Yeah. No, this definitely does not feel like it's gonna be useful. This feels like a bad idea. Yeah, definitely not good. 100% not the move. Da, 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 da. Boy. Like I keep forgetting to look over to the right. There's occasionally 1 to 3 Joltiks on the right hand side. I need to stop forgetting about those guys. Just because they haven't shined yet doesn't mean they won't at all. Alright, you know what? We got 5 minutes left again. Cloudy weather's coming back into effect. It's just going to make it a headache. I'm probably going to call it there. Thank you for those of you that stopped by the stream. I appreciate it. I will be back again for this tomorrow. At least I plan to be. So, I'll see you then. I probably will keep hunting this a little bit at some point. Maybe today, tonight, whenever. Depends. But, yeah, so tomorrow's stream, you might come back and maybe I'll have the count higher. Maybe I'll be on another target entirely. We'll see. But thanks for stopping by again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.